Vulnerability management is a lucrative career that constantly requires smart and motivated people to protect computer systems, data, and networks. Identifying, assessing, and addressing potential security weaknesses, organizations can help prevent attacks and minimize damage in the case one does occur. The goal of vulnerability management is to reduce the organization's risk exposure and remediate and mitigate vulnerabilities. Business pays the most attention to critical and high severity rated findings, so we should take some time to look at the latest cybersecurity vulnerability management trends and findings. Over 17,000 new security vulnerabilities were identified and published each year. The average vulnerability had a severity rating of 7 out of 10. Nearly half the organizations in the United States report that they have had a data breach in the past 2 years. Automating vulnerability remediation is effective when implemented correctly, but there's always going to be a need for someone with the experience and knowledge. 60% of breach victims said they were breached due to an unpatched but known vulnerability when the patch was not applied. More than half were unaware that their organization were vulnerable prior to the data breach. 52% of survey respondents say their organization are at a disadvantage in responding to vulnerabilities because they use manual process. The 5 vendors with the most documented security vulnerabilities in 2020 are Microsoft, Google, Oracle, Apple, and IBM. This creates an excellent opportunity for cybersecurity professionals with the skills to work on and remediate these well-known industry-leading software applications and operating systems. One important factor to consider is that exploits are software programs that are designed to target and take advantage of known vulnerabilities or zero-day. Implementing vulnerability management within your organization, you can address and repair the same vulnerabilities targeted by exploits. To protect your business against the latest threats, provide IT security training for all employees, implement traffic filtering and scanning, and keep up with regular patching. There's no way to build a cybersecurity program with a quick meeting or a short informational video. This will take time and planning to be put into place effectively. Threat and vulnerability management includes a variety of solutions to address cyber threats. An effective vulnerability management program demands asset discovery and inventory, vulnerability scanners, patch management, configuration management, security incident and event management, penetration testing, threat intelligence, and the remediation of vulnerabilities. The vulnerability management lifecycle details 6 key phases to reach essential expectations and call it a win. Phase 1, discovery to create a full asset inventory across your organization's network. Phase 2, prioritization of assets to assign a value to each asset group based on criticality. Phase 3, assessment of systems to understand the risk profile of each and what the primary concerns may be. Phase 4, reporting to key stakeholders and documentation of the security plan for the known vulnerabilities. Phase 5, remediation of identified vulnerabilities, starting with the highest risk. Phase 6, verification and monitoring to include regular audits to ensure remediated vulnerabilities have been completed. Proper vulnerability management helps companies identify and remediate issues before they become cybersecurity breaches or loss of company resources. Preventing security incidents can also prevent damage to companies' reputation and improve customers' willingness to share their personal information when doing business. Vulnerability management improves compliance with security standards and regulations such as ISO 27000, NIST, HIPAA, and GDPR, to name a few. Also, help organizations master overall security risk posture. A reliable and repeatable vulnerability management process highlights three significant advantages: enhanced asset security and control, consistent visibility and reporting, and operational efficiencies. A vulnerability management program should incorporate 4 simple and effective steps for managing vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. Step 1, identify vulnerabilities with vulnerability scanners that run continuously and automated to identify weaknesses and threats throughout company-owned systems and networks. Step 2, evaluate vulnerabilities to rate according to risk level and prioritize remediation actions based on rating severity. Step 3, address vulnerabilities. Organizations may apply remediation to completely remove the finding, take mitigation steps to decrease the possibility of damage, or accept the vulnerability as part of doing business. And step 4, report vulnerabilities. It is crucial to document and report vulnerabilities to business leadership and track vulnerability trends, and also help ensure the organization remains compliant. The best vulnerability management solution will maximize resources, provide visibility, assessment, and remediation consolidated in one location. Most companies can experience substantial gains in vulnerability management by assigning individuals the roles of monitor, resolver, and authorizer. The monitor will assess vulnerabilities for severity and risk, document findings, and alert resolvers to address the problems. Resolvers identify patches or execute mitigation steps when patches may not be applied. Authorizers take a high-level view of the vulnerabilities and make strategic changes aligned with the effects of present and future vulnerabilities.